Okay, so we won the die roll for the second round, and we get to go first. And this hand is a snap keep. Double Tithe Drinker into Basilica Guards. It's pretty strong. Yeah, they just gave Syndig of Tithes lifelink. That seems good. See if our opponent chooses to mulligan or not. And he does not, so start with the plains, I guess. Doesn't really matter, we have no gates. It's always nice when you get a semi-aggressive two-color deck and sealed. It's pretty rare. But our colors were pretty deep, as you can see with a double Tithe Drinker. And we drew our second black source for the Perilous Shadow, so unless our opponent gets a bunch of like walls or something out, I don't envision losing this game. Even if he does, we've got triple extort going on turn 5. And Basilica Screecher. I don't think I'd mind trading for that, because I have 2 more extorters in my hand, and drawing lands is actually just fine. I'll play this guy pre-combat, so I can extort even if he decides to trade. I'm actually fine either way, whether he trades or not. I would like to make the trade though, obviously, because I get 2 life and his extort off the table in the process. But this is fine. Man, 4-point life swings. Just feels so good. So we got Grixis colors. Madcap skills. Oh, that's why I didn't want to make that trade. Alright, well, that's actually fine. We can race that. Like, he's dealing us 4 a turn, but we're gaining 4 back. Like, he can't really hold it back now, because there'd be no point. So he's just gonna try to race, but fail miserably. Especially when we get a second extorter on the field. Perilous Shadow is actually a lot worse in this deck than I thought at first, because we want to be spending our mana on other things, like extort, and not pumping mana into our shadow. Maybe it's just because I've drawn it in my opening hand several times, and it's just not been very good situationally. It's pretty good late game. But, okay, so here I think I want to play Cluestone, because next turn I have a guaranteed double extort. And then triple extort the turn after if I draw a land. So we're missing 1 extort here, and then, I mean, I think we're still winning the race quite handily, because basically we're just guaranteeing ourselves 2 damage a turn. So his Basilica Screecher pretty much has -1 toughness damage right now, because we're gaining like 5 or 6 a turn with the lifelink combined with extort. So even though that's probably like the ideal start for him, it just can't beat our God draw. Runner's Bane. Alright, that's fine, I guess. Luckily he didn't have Electricity or something like that. So slowed us down a little bit, but it doesn't stop the extort. So he's stopping 2 damage a turn, which hopefully is not enough to stop our win. We're still dealing 4 a turn, and then 5 a turn starting next turn, thanks to triple extort. Man, we've drawn nothing but land in Cluestone this game, and that's actually exactly what that hand needed. Never said I wasn't lucky. And I deserve it after my last draft, where we flooded and then got mana screwed. But that's life. That's the reason I didn't complain when that happened, because then this happens, and I can't really say I'm angry with the game anymore. It gives and takes. We've been at above 20 for most of this game, even though he's had a Madcap skills on turn 3. That tells you that's the good sign of a good Orzhov deck. And he hasn't really played anything else either. That doesn't help. Master of Cruelties. Alright, well, that stopped our attack at least. What do I want to do about that? It's unfortunate because all this life we've gained is going to be pretty pointless if we let that through. And Madcap skills on a Basilica Screecher also. Well, I have the Rakdos Drake now, so I can block the Screecher if I want to. Interesting. I think I'm going to play the Perilous Shadow. See if I can win through Extort just by chumping a bunch. It's unlikely, but it could happen. Or I try to amass a board so that I can Alpha Strike. Or just try to stall until I draw a removal spell for his master. Like, there's no way we're going to be able to kill it in combat. I'm considering just letting it through, honestly. I mean, how likely is it that he's got burn? He's basically red-black. Splashing blue for Runner's Bane is the vibe I've been getting here. Oh, Pursuit of Flight. Alright, so I have no option but to let it through. Yeah, luckily the clause that says he can only block alone. Yeah, that'd be pretty unfair right now. I'd just lose on the spot. But I have a feeling that R&D had this situation in mind where they have a flyer and a Master of Cruelties. So yeah, I'm going to 1. And hopefully he doesn't have a burn spell next turn. I mean, we will be able to stop his Basilica Screecher next turn with the Rakdos Drake. So can I win? I would have to attack with both my guys. Oh, I do get lifelink on the Tithe Drinker and the Extort. Is that going to be enough? Yeah, so I cast this, I get triple Extort. Yeah, I think I can do this because I still have I can still gain life up from 2. I mean, if he has an explosive impact, all of this isn't really going to matter. Actually, I'll be at 6. But he puts me back down to 1 with the Master. So I'm going to leave this guy leashed. I'm going to attack with both my guys. He's going to have to lose his Basilica Screecher, I think. I have no cards in hand, so he doesn't have to play around anything. I think this is fine. Either way, we're going back up to 6. And then he can only kill me with a burn spell. Oh, well, I guess he does have Extort on the table, so... Yeah, Extort's pretty good with Master of Cruelties, turns out. So that's unfortunate. He gets to go down to 1. Maybe I should have attacked before. Awkward. Maybe that was just a mistake, I don't know. I mean, we did lose to a Mythic Rare, so... Yeah, and he didn't play a land that turn, so he has to have a spell. Or he could just be holding all 6 drops. I'll just hope for that. But it's not looking good. Actually, I can just block the Master. I forgot, because I have the Rakdos Drake. Oh, so he's attacking with that guy? Yep. So what could this mean? Probably Blood Rush or something. Like a Rebel Vault Maca, probably. Yeah, I'll block it. Oh, I can't because of the Madcap skills. I forgot about that. So, yeah, nothing we could have done if he has a trick here. What's this? Oh, geez. Okay, well, I'm glad we saw that, because that means we can play around it if we are given the opportunity next game. Alright, so we lost to rares, so I don't feel too bad about that. What can I do about anything I saw there? I could bring in Sundering Growth for the Madcap skills. What else? Not sure how fast his deck is. I only saw like 3 or 4 spells. I'll bring in Soul Tithe for the Master of Cruelties. Bring out my expensive stuff on the play. Seems fine. We'll play first. Man, we managed to lose with our God draw. And we can curb out with this hand. Luckily we've been drawing well. Guildmage is going to have to pull his weight again, like he did in the last game. Guildgate. Not sure why he's playing blue. We saw, I guess Pursuit of Flight and Runner's Bane were the only blue I saw. Not sure if those are worth splashing blue for alone though, so hopefully he doesn't have something too massive to worry about, like a hypersonic dragon or something. Alright, he's got the gate start, so looks like he doesn't have a very fast deck. So on the draw, maybe we want to bring in our bigger stuff after all, since we won't get punished by the super fast starts that Rakdos is prone to have. I'll start with the Rakdos Drake so that if he plays a ground guy, I can still get in for 2 next turn. We do have to unleash it this way, so if he plays like Madcap Skills on a flyer again, we might not be able to beat it this time. We can try to race it though. See what he's got. Warmind Infantry. Alright, yeah, so it's a good thing I didn't play my Sewer Shambler. I mean, I can block it if I want and scavenge onto my flyer. I think I'll play my Basilica Guards instead though, so I can extort from here on out, since he could put up a pretty good ground defense again. I feel like we were just, well, we got him to 1, so we were just 1 turn off from extorting him out. Not a whole lot we could have done though, losing to Master of Cruelties. None may pass for free. Foil Basilica Guards, pretty sweet. Alright, well he hit his land drop, but he hasn't played anything yet, so this might mean he has multiple things to do. Possibly Blood Rush to consider, because I am going to block, most likely. Yeah, so far it still looks like he's playing Rakdos splashing blue. But I haven't seen any like 2-drops to worry about other than Basilica Screecher. No Gorehouse Chainwalkers or... Oh, is he just passing? Interesting. What could this mean? Like Essence Backlash maybe? Seems unlikely. I'll just get in for 2 I guess and see what he does. Just taking it? Alright, I'll play my Sewer Shambler with Extort. Holding up a white to represent Smite. Oh, and this thing has Swamp Walk, so I always forget that. I just remember the Scavenge part, because this thing's pretty much just unblockable this turn, or this game. It's too bad we took out our Undercity Plague, because it would be pretty close to game at this point. Did he miss a land drop? Looks like he did. Well, that's good news for us. Do I want to use the Soul Tithe? I think it puts him like really far behind if I do that. So maybe I do, because he either has to lose his only board presence or take up his turn, and then he's pretty much dead the next turn. I think I'd rather just use the Guildmage's abilities this turn, since we have 6 mana now. So we're dealing 6 a turn now, and then we can extort him out the turn after. Yeah, that seems fine. I mean, he could have a removal spell, but I mean, we'd lose to that anyway, so it's not like we have anything much better to do. I think I'll do it this way, though. We're losing out on 1 damage, but this puts him dead on board next turn and makes it a lot more difficult for him to win from this position. Actually, it's the same amount of damage because Extort deals 1 and the ability dealt him 1, so it's the same as dealing 2 with lifelink. So this is fine. So we put him to 7. Next turn we put him to 1 if we use both abilities again. Let's see what he's got. It's really not good for him either way. Alright, so he's just going to let it die. I'm curious what he has in his hand. Maybe a Master of Cruelties? Because he's got 8 cards but hasn't played anything. Must be all expensive stuff. Or like enchantments. Yeah, that's probably what he has. Madcap Skills, Pursuit of Flight, that kind of thing. Dagger Drone Imp. Yeah, funny story actually. At an M12 pre-release, back when I first started playing, I was playing a blue-green deck, and I put a Flight on an Inferno Titan, and then tried to plummet it, and it got mana leaked. So, I was the talk of the town for a few days after that. Alright, anyway, back to the game. We can't kill him this turn, but I will get in for some damage. I think I'll just give my Sewer Shambler lifelink and use the other ability. So he's for sure dead next turn unless he draws a removal spell. So lifelink to this guy. It doesn't really matter which one I give lifelink, because we're gaining the life either way and he's taking the damage regardless. Alright, he's dead on board. Alright, he found his 5th land. Let's see if he wants to show us any more of his deck before he dies. He has to have removal for 2 of my creatures. Well, 3 of them actually, because I have the Guild Mage as well to get in there. So, don't think he can come back. He needs some kind of board wipe, which he doesn't have access to in those colors, except for Mizium Orders. Yep, and as expected. It would have to be like Runner's Bane plus Electrickery plus a blocker or something. Alright, so yeah, no changes.